coming. This is going to be kind of a mix of listening and teaching workshop. And the topic of the workshop is loosely the fiddle music of Bill Katon. Now, let me tell you about Bill Katon. And I can tell you about some other things I have back on my table. First, I'll show you this poster. This is a poster for an event that our Fiddlers Association Missouri put on in 1984. You can see I never throw anything away. Yeah. But I have a little roll of them back there, and they're free. There's a few left. If you want, it's a very cool poster with a dancing radio on it. But there was a radio station in Jefferson City, which is the capital there, that broadcast a lot of fiddle music in the early 20s. And it was located the studio was right in the dome of the Capitol. We got one of those kind of classic neoclassical sort of Capitol buildings that were popular at the turn of the century. And so the station was right up in the dome, and a big wire antenna ran down to a tower that was built beside the Capitol there. And so one of the performers on that station was this guy named Bill Katon. And he had his sidekick was Ola Gathright, the guitar player. And he was an African-American fiddler from central Missouri there. And he died long before I was born. He died in the 40s, I believe. But he was a really great fiddler, and a lot of the guys I grew up learning to play from remembered him and remembered some of his tunes. And so, and I've got, let's see here. I'm trying to drop my fiddle. I've got a picture of it here. When we did this event at the state capitol, what we were reenacting a big fiddle contest they had in 1925. And so we ended up having 100 fiddlers come because everyone wanted a chance to play their fiddle in the state capitol building. And so it was a really great night one evening, and had a little fiddle contest. I found people who had played in the 1925 contest, and they came and played. It was really cool, and people still talk about it. But that was a long time ago now, 1984, you know. But so as part of that, we did an exhibit, and I went around getting photos and things. And I found Bill Katon's grandniece was living across the river in Callaway County, which is just north of Jefferson City, and she had a picture of Bill. So I'm just going to send this around. Oh, cool. And when I'm done, though, I'm going to give this picture to Mary Alice, because I've known her so long. She likes this music. So when it's all said and done, whoever has it the last time, hand it to Mary Alice. But that, would you just take that over there and get it. But you can see what Bill looked like. Hold this fiddle. And so he was quite a famous guy there in central Missouri. Now, I'll give you a little history on Missouri, not to belabor it too much, but, you know, Missouri was a slave state, admitted as a slave state as part of the Missouri Compromise. They admitted Maine and Missouri at the same time to try to treat the number of states equal. And Missouri kind of blew up. There were actually more skirmishes. Civil War buffs can correct me, but I've heard there were more actual skirmishes, not major battles, but where people were murdering each other basically in Missouri than any other state. You literally hear about brother killing brother. I mean, that happened there with far too much frequency because there was such consternation over slavery. And so Bill Katon would have been the descendant of slaves in Missouri. There were already a lot of slaves there in Missouri when the Civil War started, because people came up from Kentucky and Tennessee. You know, they'd ruin the land growing cotton where they were, and they came up to Missouri and started the same thing. So where I grew up in central Missouri is actually Little Dixie. And Missouri is still kind of this very factionalized place. I mean, the parties have switched, flip-flop, you know, as they have in most of the part of the country. But they used to say, if you want to see a Civil War reenactment, go any day to the Missouri legislature, because up until the Civil Rights era, it was the same counties still hating each other, you know, and the old grudges were all still there. It's kind of sad when you think about it, but true nonetheless. So Bill Katon's music, he was a black fiddler, but all the Caucasian white fiddle players remembered him, and I have never heard anything but great respect for the way he played. And so let's hear, I don't have any recordings of Bill, obviously, but I have recordings of some people who had played his tunes. And one guy in particular was named Keith Orchard. He was from Fulton, which is there in Callaway County, not far from where Bill would have played. And his family lived near Bill, and he knew a lot of the tunes. So let me just play a couple things here for you, just to give you a sense for what this music sounds like. And there are great titles to the tunes, which are so southern in their nature. I mean, you know, Missouri was, especially central Missouri, was a very southern kind of place back in those days. So here we'll have, first one we'll play is, I'll play for you, it's called Fever in the South, and that's one of the ones we're going to learn today. Okay, let's see if I can get it going. I have to get my connection. Yeah, connected, okay, let's see what happens here. Here we go. Yep, I lost it. I touched something I wasn't supposed to touch. Here we go. So this is Keith Orchard. Sense of that tune. So there was another one that Keith played called Beefsteak, which was it's kind of a cool tune in C. Let's see if we can get that going here. Beefsteak, another Bill Katon tune as played by Keith Orchard.
Beefsteak. Fiddle.
It's in C and G. There, I'll play you one more here. One called "Walking with the Yellow Gal," and that's a Keith Orchard tune also. Tune and C. So what I like about these tunes is it's kind of a different set of music. It's not the sort of Victorian era hornpipes and reels, the real notey stuff. It's very much a different kind of dance music. You know, it just has a different feel to it. And I'm not musicologist articulate enough, but you can tell what I mean by that. It's just has a whole different feel than those other Missouri tunes that are all those very notey kind of what I'll call Victorian era or 19th century style hornpipes and reels. But it's really cool music, and I like it. This is very typical of a lot of the way a lot of the players in Central Missouri played when I was growing up. Rough and ready, a lot of bow pressure, and a lot of drive with that foot pounding because they were playing for square dances. That's what that music was all about. So I'm going to play you one more here, and it's the other one I'm going to try to show you today. It's called Black Sally Goodin. Now there's two versions of this floating around. One is the version that's printed in R.P. Christeson's book, which I think he actually kind of took from memory. He wrote out from memory. And this other version is a version from right in the country where Bill Katon was from that Pete McMahon played. And it's in G. And when we get ready to play that, we'll drop our E string down to D because there's kind of a little plucky bit that you do in there. So this is Pete McMahon's version of Black Sally Goodin. They're very similar tunes. You can see the one in the Christeson book, but it's a little different. I like this one better. It's more fiddly, if you will. That's all you get. He gave you, that's 38 seconds, he said when he recorded. That's it. So let's get where we're at. We're going to play both the tunes we're going to do today are in G. So the first one is called Fever in the South. And I'll just play through it a couple times here with Pat. Okay. And I'm recording this with my video. Yes, it's now on record. And I'll put it up on my YouTube channel, but you're welcome to video, audio, whatever, you know. And so let's just play a little Fever in the South, a la Bill Katon by Keith Orchard. Here we go. You did pretty good, Pat. All right. so it's in G, and what I do is I'll just play. You know, it's a big group here, so I'll just play a phrase, and you play it back to me. And when I'm hearing most of it come back, I'll go on to the next little phrase. Okay. So, but it does start up on with the B note on the E string, so it'd be the fourth finger on the E string. Let me play you a little bit now. Everybody find that note. Okay, good. Just listen now. Just listen now. Just listen. Don't play along while I'm playing, if you would. So I'll play a little bit, and then I'll say you play. Then I'll play a little bit more and say you play. That sort of thing. Okay. So it's. Okay, I'm gonna play it slower now.
Yes.
But I was just finding it, dear. Come on, what's the matter?
All
right, one more time. I'm gonna play it at that tempo. Then I'm gonna play it slow, and then it'll be your turn. Listen one more time, slow now. Just do like that. Okay, one more time. One more time. Together one more time. Okay, and then a little bit more is listen one time. So this is all on the E string. Listen one more time. Listen, just listen. Here we go. One more time. One more time. Okay, I'll play you what you got so far. Just listen. All on the E string. Okay, here we go. One more time. Slower. One more time. Once more with feeling. Okay, good. I'm going to go on from there. I'm going to play what you got, and then I'm going to play a little bit more. Okay, let's just listen. In fact, I'll play the whole first part again. Just so you hear. Okay, just listen. Okay, what you got so far is this. Just listen. There you're going to do, that's kind of a repeat of what we did at first, right? So it's hit that part, start on that B note. Stop, and then you got, oh sorry. Listen one time. I'm starting on the G on the E string. Play along, here we go. Okay, here we go, up high now. Start at the beginning. Really slow. to the second part. Are we ready for the second part? I think we are.
Play it first, right?
Yeah, I'm going to have to play it first, right?
We're not focused.
Of course. All right, we'll play the whole tune one time. Just listen, we're going to play the whole tune again one more time here.
All right.
Let's do that part. It's pretty easy. It's a lot of the notes are just G, the G on the D string, you know, and the B on the A string. You're kind of playing around in that chord area, you know. Okay, so let me just play a little bit here. Start listening to this. No, you don't have to play that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now the next little bit is this. Listen one more time. Listen one more time. Listen. Just get that little bit. One more time. And then on the B, there's a little chromatic thing. On the B note on the A, listen. So it's B, B flat, A. Okay, let me play those all together so you hear how it sounds. Okay. Is you don't play the B flat, you just go. The Three Blind Mice. Okay, here we go. Start at the beginning of that. again one more time, and then we'll play it together. Okay? I think we're almost there. Here we go. Oh, go ahead. Yep. So here we go one more time through. Pat and I will play it a couple times. Just. I tend to not play the tune twice the same way. It's a moving target, you know. But yeah, sometimes I slur that little thing, and sometimes I play it separate. Yeah, so you can do it either way.
Did he do that as well? Do you know?
No, I think that's my own thing. Yeah, the slur. I think he did do the slur, but playing it as separate notes, I think, is my thing. Yeah, that recording of Keith Orchard. I mentioned yesterday about the Missouri State Old Time Fiddlers Association band camp site. And, you know, I alluded to this whole factionalization of the Civil War. It goes on to this day. There are numerous fiddlers associations in Missouri. If you look up Missouri Fiddlers Association, like 3 will come up. I think when I was growing up, there were like 6 fiddlers associations because they couldn't get along. They liked different kinds of music. You know, it was weird. But anyway, this is called the Missouri State Old Time Fiddlers Association band campsite, and those Keith Orchard tracks are on there. They're downloadable, but you can stream them for free. You can listen to them all you want. And so you'll find a bunch more of those tunes. And also another guy to look for is V. Latty, V-E-E-L-A-T-T-Y. He was another guy who lived in Callaway County, who died in the 50s, but he played at that radio station I mentioned and would have been a contemporary of Bill Katon's, lived within 20 miles. So I'm sure they must have played together. So again, there are more Bill Katon tunes in that mix of V. Latty stuff as well.
So
yes?
There are no recordings of Bill Katon?
No, there were none.
So how did his songs get...
They learned them directly from him. Yeah, they were lived in his vicinity, and then they got passed around, and someone would say, "Oh, that's an old Bill Katon tune," you know. And especially the guy I mentioned first, Keith Orchard. They lived on what was called the Avaz River. There's a river runs through Callaway County, and like apparently when he was growing up, his family lived in a cabin that was a few miles walking distance to Bill Katon. So he actually learned some tunes from him directly. I know that for a fact. So yeah, so let's play a little bit of Fever in the South together here. Not too fast, right, Pat? Start slow. Here we go. good little tune. So now I want you to, that's Fever in the South, okay? So now we're going to play Black Sally Goodin, and that's, I want you to, everybody just to start thumping around and tune your E string down to D, okay? Tune your E string down to D. I don't play very many tunes in Discord, but this is one of them. Okay, so now we're going to do Black Sally Goodin, and let's see where we're at here with this D. Oh yeah, so it ought to sound like this. On your A and E string. Here we go. Pat, if you would. G, we're in G. So let me give you the first. It really works a lot on the G and D string, messing with those chord notes in G, you know. So a lot of this, you know. Let's just play that. So what I'm playing is I'm playing open D, G, the B on the A string, and the D on the A string. Listen one more time. Kind of a little piece of an arpeggio. Pizzicato a little bit. I'd either do it with my pinky or my ring finger usually. Usually my ring finger to you get a little more force. So just pluck that. Okay. Okay. Let's play it one more. We're gonna play it one more time, a little slower now. Okay. D on the A string, it's okay to lean over and get that edgy, you know, edgy and slightly out of tune, the two D's together. You know. Okay, so, all right, so let me give you the first little phrase here. Just listen, just listen. One more time, I'm gonna play it slow. You're still in the listening mode. So first little bit is this. D, F sharp, G. Okay. Okay, now listen. One more time. One more time. Okay, and from there I'm going to go back to the G on the D string, just listen. let me play you that whole bit together so that, because sometimes when you slow it down, you play the wrong notes, so I don't want to do that to you. Then we'll have to learn it all over again. One more time. One more time, listen. Here we go. One more time. One more time. Okay, now new bit. Let's listen. One more time, listen. Just play that a little bit. One more time. Now listen. One more time. One more time. Okay, I'm gonna play you what you got so far. Just listen. And hopefully it'll be the same thing I just taught you. Last bit there. I think we're doing pretty good up to that part because it's kind of a repeat. Okay, so from the pluck, it's this. One more time. That's just A, B, A, B. I'll give you the rest of it now. Listen. One more time, listen. Together now, pluck. Sometimes when you deconstruct a tune, it's like the old elephant joke. How do you make a sculpture of an elephant? You take a block of marble and cut away everything that doesn't look like an elephant. That's the answer. So in this case, you play all the notes, but don't use your second finger. If you on that passage, if you use your second finger, you're playing a wrong note. Okay, so listen one more time. Listen to me play the whole tune with Pat here again, and then we'll start back at the beginning and we'll just play it real slow and you can kind of cogitate on those little bits there. And the second part's way easier than this part is. good job. So now, like I said, the second part's way less complicated than that even. Okay. But I love playing this tune. It's a really, really fun tune to play. And we all get to playing it up to speed, like you use it in your jams or whatever. It's just great because all that plucking going on. It's just fun. It's just a fun tune to play. Okay, so the second part, I'll lead you into it. Here we go, Pat. The big clock on the wall, well, it's a human clock, has indicated to me that I have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. So we're going to learn this part in 5 minutes. But I will put a video up of me playing it slow on my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel doesn't really, it has a weird bunch of hexadecimal numbers that if I gave you the address, so just put Charlie Walden Fiddle into YouTube and up will come all of the stuff. And one last thing, if I can say, if you want to realize the full extent of the Possum's Big Fiddle Show media empire, just go to Google and put in @Big Fiddle Show and up will come pages and pages of hits. It's enormous. It's a huge, far-reaching tentacles of this media empire. So, how was that?
Funny.
And ridiculous. And ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Listen one more time. Play it slow. So the first little bit is. One more time. I'm kind of doing like a slur, you know, or what? Hammer on or something, you know. Okay. And then the last bit, so you pluck and then go. Again, if you're using your second finger, you're playing a wrong note. Okay, listen to what you got so far. What's that? Ending on the G, yeah. Okay, listen one time. I'll play you what you got so far. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then the next little bit is this. Listen one time, without the pluck. That part. Open A to B. And now you must employ your second finger. So that whole passage sounds like this. Slow with you a couple times. Just play it with me, though, because we're running out of time. I want you to have a chance to take a run at it. So it starts on the pluck. Thank you all very much. Thanks for having us. Okay.